I had just come home from work, a long, exhausting day filled with meetings, phone calls, and deadlines that never seemed to end. All I wanted was a quiet evening with my wife, Rachel. Maybe a glass of wine, a warm meal, and some peace. That's not what I walked into. The house was clean, suspiciously clean. Candles were lit. Her favorite playlist was playing, low in the background. The smell of perfume lingered, something too sweet, unfamiliar. I paused at the door, sensing something was off. You know that gut feeling? The one that hits you before your brain can catch up. I had that. I called her name. Rachel? No answer. I walked into the living room. Empty. The kitchen. Spotless. The wine glasses in the sink weren't ours, at least not the ones we used daily. They were the fancy ones. The only for guests ones. Two of them. One had lipstick. The other didn't. I felt something inside me shift. Then I heard it. A whisper. A laugh. A creak from upstairs. I froze. My feet moved on their own, slow and careful, as if I could somehow make the moment less real by delaying it. I climbed the stairs one step at a time, each creak beneath my weight louder than the last. My heart was thundering in my chest, but my mind, it was oddly still. Numb. The door to the bedroom was ajar. Another laugh. Her laugh. I pushed the door open. And there she was. Rachel. Wrapped in nothing but a sheet. Her hair messy, her smile fading the second she saw me. The man beside her turned, panic in his eyes, shirt half on, belt unbuckled. He scrambled to his feet like a thief caught in the act. I didn't say a word. Not to him. Not to her. I just stared, not at them, but through them. Like they weren't real. Like the last 10 years of my life had just shattered in front of me, and I couldn't feel anything yet. James. Wait. This isn't what it looks like, Rachel stammered, reaching for me, still clutching the sheet. That's when I stepped back and said the words that would stay with her forever. Don't touch me, Rachel. And I turned around. I walked downstairs, grabbed my keys, and left. No yelling. No punches. No tears. Just silence. The kind that hurts more than any scream ever could. That I drove without knowing where I was going. City lights blurred past me. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel, but my face was calm. Too calm. I wasn't crying. I wasn't angry. I was empty, like someone had cut the strings inside me and everything had just fallen. My phone buzzed again. Rachel. Then again. And again. Calls. Texts. Voicemails piling up like some desperate avalanche of guilt. Please, James. I can explain, it didn't mean anything. Come back. Let's talk. Talk. She had 10 years to talk. 10 years to be honest. Faithful. Loyal. And now she wanted to talk. I pulled into an empty parking lot near the river. Just sat there, staring at the dark water, gripping the wheel like it was the only thing keeping me from falling apart. Images flashed in my head. Our wedding. Our first apartment. Late nights laughing on the couch. Her lying beside me, saying she loved me. Was it all fake? Or did she mean it, right up until she didn't? I leaned back in the seat and let the silence devour me. It was the only thing that made sense anymore. That I stayed in that parking lot for hours. No music. No podcasts. Just the sound of my own breathing and the river's slow, steady current in the distance. Then my phone buzzed again, one more message from her. This one hit different. He meant nothing. You still mean everything. Please come home. That word, home, stung. Because the place I left wasn't home anymore. It was just a shell filled with broken promises and stained sheets. I finally answered, just once. Not with words. Just a photo. A photo of the wine glasses she left in the sink. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to accuse. I just needed her to see what I saw. A moment later, 3 dots appeared. Typing. Then they stopped. No message followed. I guess she realized the truth wasn't something she could erase with a cute apology or a well-rehearsed excuse. The silence that followed said everything. I tossed the phone onto the passenger seat and started the engine. I wasn't going back. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. That I checked into a cheap roadside motel. The kind of place that smells like cigarette smoke and forgotten lives. The clerk didn't ask questions. Just handed me a key and nodded. Room 208. The door creaked when I opened it, a twin bed, a flickering lamp, and a TV from the early 2000s. But it was quiet. And it wasn't her house. That was enough. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall, still wearing my work clothes. I didn't bother changing. Didn't bother showering. Sleep didn't come easy. It never does when your world just collapsed. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, every moment of our relationship playing like a bad movie I never asked to see again. Was there a sign I missed? Had she already checked out long before tonight? Or was I just a fool holding on to a dream that was already dead? At 2:47 a.m., I got another text. From a number I didn't recognize. He didn't know you were coming. I told him you'd be gone till late. No name. But I knew who it was. She gave him a heads up. She planned it. She didn't just betray me. She scheduled it. And that's when I knew. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. The sun rose, but it didn't feel like a new day. It felt like the same pain, stretched into daylight. I stood by the motel window, watching cars pass on the highway. People going to work. Living their lives. Smiling. Laughing. Completely unaware that just hours ago, my world cracked open and spilled into nothing. I checked my phone. More missed calls. More messages. All from Rachel. I was stupid. I panicked. Can we talk? Just once. You don't understand what I've been going through. That last one made me scoff. What she's been going through. I wanted to throw the phone through the wall. But I didn't. I just turned it off. I didn't want her voice in my head anymore. I didn't want her to explain the unexplainable. You don't trip and fall into someone else's bed. You don't accidentally take off your ring and whisper someone else's name. Cheating isn't confusion. It's clarity. It's a decision to break what someone trusted you with. I grabbed my keys and left the motel. I wasn't sure where I was going, but I knew one thing, I wasn't going back to her. Not now. Not ever. By noon, I was halfway to the next town over. Just me, the road, and the thumping silence of Betrayal riding shotgun. Then I saw her name light up again. I don't know why, but I answered. Maybe I wanted to hear her voice one last time, to remind myself of the difference between who she was and who I thought she was. James, she breathed out. Her voice was shaky, like she'd been crying. Good. I know you hate me right now. But please, please don't walk away like this. I didn't say anything. Can we just meet? One time. Face to face. You can say whatever you need to. Scream at me, curse me out. I don't care. Just don't disappear. Please. Silence again. Then she added the line she thought would break me. You still have my heart. But she was wrong. I had her lies. Her betrayal. Her memories. But her heart. That had already been given away, to someone else, in my bed, under my roof. I finally spoke. "I'm not disappearing, Rachel. I'm just done." Then I hung up. And this time, I didn't look back. A day passed. Then too, I stayed off social media. Switched off my phone. I didn't want updates. I didn't want apologies. I didn't even want revenge. I just wanted peace. But peace doesn't come easily when someone like Rachel starts to panic. When a manipulator realizes they've lost control, they scramble. She showed up at my parents' house. At my job. She emailed me from an old address I forgot she had. I made the biggest mistake of my life. "You're the only man who's ever loved me the right way." He meant nothing, it was a moment of weakness. "Please don't throw everything away." She even sent a photo of the necklace I gave her on our 5th anniversary. Said she couldn't take it off because it still smelled like me. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. But then I remembered. She didn't feel bad when she whispered into another man's ear. She didn't feel bad when she laughed with him in our bed. She only felt bad when she got caught. There's a difference between regret and remorse. She regretted losing her safety net. But she was never sorry she tore it apart. On the 4th day, I got a letter. Not an email. Not a text. A handwritten letter, delivered to my parents' house. The envelope smelled like her perfume. That same cloying sweetness I had noticed that night, the scent that now made my stomach turn. I didn't want to read it. But I did. And inside was everything she should have said before she shattered us. She wrote about how she'd felt lost, how she missed feeling wanted. How the man she was with was just a mistake born out of loneliness. She tried to flip it. She said I'd become distant. Too focused on work. Too unavailable. She said she felt invisible. And there it was, the twist. The part where my pain was her excuse. She never said, "I'm sorry I did this to you." Only, "I wish you had seen me slipping before I fell." She didn't take responsibility. She just tried to share the blame. But I wasn't playing that game. Not anymore. Because I realized, if someone can betray you, and still find a way to make it your fault, they were never truly with you to begin with. That night, I burned the letter. Not in anger. Not in revenge. But in closure. I watched the paper curl and blacken in a rusted coffee can outside the motel. Her words melted away like the promises she'd broken, one ash at a time. It was symbolic, and stupidly satisfying. I checked out the next morning. Rented a small place in a town an hour away. I told no one where I went. Not even my friends. Not even my family. I needed space. I needed air. I needed to remember who I was before Rachel took up every room in my heart. I started running again. Bought a notebook. Wrote things down. Not about her, but about me. About what I wanted. About the version of myself I buried in order to make a broken relationship look whole. And somewhere between the quiet mornings and silent nights, I started breathing again. Not just existing. Actually breathing. She still tried to reach out. Every few days. New number. New email. New account. Each message more desperate than the last. But she didn't understand something simple: when you cross a line with someone who gave you everything, you don't get to choose when they come back. It had been nearly a month. I hadn't responded to a single message. Not a call. Not a knock. Nothing. But one night, as I sat alone on my porch, staring up at the stars, my phone buzzed again. This one was different. Just one sentence. "I'm pregnant." The air left my lungs. No hi. No explanation. Just that. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. 1,000 thoughts racing through my head. Was it mine? Was it his? Was it even true? Or was this just one more ploy, a final attempt to reel me back in? I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Because even if it was true, that wasn't my responsibility anymore. She made her choices. She gambled everything, our trust, our future, our home, for one night of whatever it was she was looking for. And now? Now she could live with the outcome. Alone. Just like she left me. 2 months passed. No more texts. No more calls. Just silence, the kind of silence that feels like healing instead of punishment. I moved on. Slowly, but surely. Got a better place. Found a new rhythm. I even laughed again, real laughs, not the hollow kind that hide pain. I was no longer waking up thinking about her. I was waking up thinking about me. My peace. My future. Then, one afternoon, I saw her. It was at the grocery store, of all places. I turned the corner near the produce section, and there she was. Alone. No glow. No confidence. No sparkle. Just a pale, tired version of the woman I once loved. She froze when she saw me. Her eyes glassed over, lips parted like she wanted to speak, but couldn't find the words. I looked at her for maybe 3 seconds. Then I walked right past her. No anger. No smirk. No hate. Just peace. Because when you stop letting someone who broke you own even a second more of your life, that's when you truly win. She had her chance. She begged. But it was too late. I never looked back.